Hey, Warrior fans, Russ W. Oker, Go Hills TV, powered by JBS, bringing more to the table. Time for a post-match interview with Coach Jon Hussak of our women's soccer team. We dropped this one today 2-0 to Iowa Western. They are the #1 team in the country, the defending national champs. Coach, we know that the road to the national tournament ultimately goes through Iowa Western. Whether somebody else upsets them and we beat them, or whether we get into postseason and are able to beat them. But at the end of the day, everybody in this district knows that the road, you want to get to that national tournament, you're either going to have to beat them or hope for an at-large bid. So, this is a bit of a journey. So I'll just ask you today, I mean, obviously you want to win every match you play, but the takeaway from this has to be fairly positive, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think we've regressed a bit in terms of an offensive presence, but defensively today, I think, again, a penalty, I was questioning the referee. I felt it wasn't a penalty just because, the player, she left her feet. Once you leave your feet, you're kind of out of control. So for you to claim a foul while she's in that's a tough one for me.
Tough call, yeah.
But hey, we can't blame it on that, right? So, that you look at outside of we took a little nap for a second. We came out pretty energized first 10 minutes, and then we took a little nap and they played in behind. And, it was just kind of deflating for a moment, but our girls responded. We came out. The halftime talk was, let's go at them a little bit more. And let's see, how they respond to, a different approach to the game from us. And I think that half, outside of, they got another 6-7 shots in the half, but we let up 15 shots in the first half, another 6-7 in the second half. But I think from a defensive standpoint, I think we did well. I think we marked what we needed to, and I think we frustrated them a bit. And I think that's something it was a learning moment for me, right? As well as just kind of seeing, okay, in the heat of the game, how do they play? How do they react to us? How do they adjust and those different things? So it was a learning moment. You're playing #1 in the country, and they're going to come at you with all the firepower they have, and they went from the opening weekend scoring, it was like 14 goals in the opening weekend. We held them to 2. So I think it definitely gives our players some confidence. It kind of I personally feel for our girls, it humanizes, makes the other team a little more human to them. And I think now it's just a matter of, how do we approach the next game? How do we want to go at them? And ultimately, like you said, in the long run, we've got the region tournament, and then getting into districts is going to go through ultimately them or someone who can conquer them.
Right, no doubt. So I had Maria Melendez as my Scooters Coffee Player of the Game, but again, I thought as a whole, she was very busy back there. But so give me a couple of players that stand out for you that at least on initial look, watching it live, that you felt like really did their job today and had a good match.
Yeah, there were players we challenged today, Russ. We looked them dead in the eye before the game, and we said, here's your responsibility, and I challenge you to be the better player. And I'll give Layla a very big shout out. She had to mark a good dynamic number 17, who was their one of their main forwards, and then number 9 is Marta Upis, and she's the national player of the year from last year. So Layla went out and for the most part took her out of the game, and they couldn't play through her, and she was a big reason why they were very successful last year. Any national player of the year is going to be the reason why they're successful, right?
No doubt, yeah.
So Layla, I give Layla credit, and I can't wait to go and talk to her over there. Again, I don't want to celebrate a loss, but I also want to draw a positive from this, and I think there's a lot from us positively, considering we dropped kind of a shaky game in my opinion against Central, and then again just kind of stepping aside for Western Wyoming. If we can hold #1 in the country to 2 goals, and again we didn't challenge the keeper at all, but I think overall we're setting ourselves up for some confidence, at least defensively, at least as a team, that when we work together, good things can happen.
No doubt. All right, Coach, so you're going to have a little time off because of the Triton match getting canceled, so you're not going to play again until October 2nd when we have you here at home. I think that's Nyack, I believe.
Yep.
So you got some time. Maybe that's not a bad thing here at this point of the season. It gives you a little time, number one, to rest legs if you need to, but then also quite a bit of time to really work on whatever you feel like you need to work on, right?
Yeah, and what we'd like to do is just kind of get their tired legs a little bit of rest, but again, work on getting back to the chalkboard, so to speak, and working on a couple things, just understanding how to get in behind, really kind of muscling down on a couple of different tactical formations and whatnot. I think if we can get very good at a 2 or 3 different ways, I think that makes us hard to play against because we can constantly adjust and change and things like that. But yeah, what I want to really spend time on is building confidence around the goal and confidence to get in behind. I think we're good in our half. I think once we cross that halfway line, I think we run out of ideas, and some of it is we're at a point where we need to just plainly tell them what their ideas need to be instead of maybe expecting a little bit out of creativity and free thinking and things like that. I think we need to just program it a little bit more to the point of it's not just one option, it's 3 or 4, but in the space you're in, here's where you go and here's where you don't go.
All right, Coach Jon Hussak. Warriors drop it 2-0 to Iowa Western, the number 1 team in the country. Really gave them a pretty good battle today, and we'll grow from this, and will be fun to see what we have the next time we come out against Nyack here on October 2nd. That'll be the last time we see you on Go Hills TV, at least in the regular season, so we'll see what the postseason brings to us. Big thanks to Coach for joining us, and we certainly appreciate everybody watching today. That's going to do it for us on Go Hills TV, powered by JBS.